Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's getting cold outside, and today we actually had to turn the old garage heater on. It's in the upper 40s, and it's chilly out, and it's raining like crazy right now. Got my morning tea. I'm ready to go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to fix a tool because it needs to be fixed. I had a suggestion from, I think it was Viper 76, and we're going to get right to it. And then I think we're going to work on the engine after that. If I can get this tool fixed, we will put all the pistons on and hopefully finish the long block. For this plate that you get to check your deck height with, I had a comment that said, hey, you might want to sand this down like you did your shims to make sure it's totally flat. Well, guess what? He was right. Can you see how shiny it is on the outside compared to the middle? This one I already sanded down on quite a bit, but I think you can see it more here. Yeah. When the sand scratches go all the way across, then you know it's flat. But on this, there's a little pit right here. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. Some of the scratches are going across, but not all of them. And if you can see, the outside is way more shiny than the middle. So we are going to flatten this out, because when you're dealing with thousands of inches and doing your deck height, this is essential. So let's get to it. No, I'm not going to make you watch all this. I've said it before. I will never show you hours of sanding. So I will be back when that is flat. But as you can see, the outside of this is way more shiny than the middle of it. Shiny, dark. That means not flat. Hoping you can see that reflection. Shiny on the outside, dark in the middle. Not flat. Gotta fix it. Here's an update. I've been at this for about 35-45 minutes, and this is worse than I thought it was going to be. I mean, this is supposed to be a precision tool. I mean, you can see all the sanding is on the outside. I'm sure this was laser cut, but it's not even close. And it's on both sides. It's not just one side. It's the same thing on both sides. The outsides are extra thick, and the inside's real low, and I still don't have that little nub out of there. This is going to take a while. I'm not really happy about this, and this may change things for the engine build and the deck height. It could completely roll me back days, if not weeks, on the whole shim thing that I went through and deck height. All right, I guess I'm going to continue to do this because I need to make sure this is right. This is definitely an issue. I hope it doesn't change things too much, but when we're done here, we will measure this with the calipers. I wrote down the specs on it before sanding, and we'll see what it is afterwards. Here we go, down the rabbit hole again. Well, guess how I've spent most of my morning. I'm out of breath. I'm sweating. This is crazy. This is crazy. Let me be the first one to call out MP and say, come on, guys, a little better on the quality control. I mean, I don't know how much of a difference this is going to make, but I'm really curious now to see what the calipers are going to say about this, because I can still see my marker writing in the metal. And there's a big ring. I think you can see that. Yeah, big metal ring here. I'm starting to get this down. That was all pitted like this. That was all pitted in there. I'm going to be here for a while. So thanks, Viper 76, for making more work for me. I'm just kidding. I'm glad you told me, because now I'm really curious to see what the measurement difference is going to be. Gotta keep vacuuming off the metal shavings, or it just starts to roll because it's such a big flat piece. And the other thing is, this is becoming so sharp on the outside from sanding this that it's starting to dig into my hands. I have to keep putting a little bit of a chamfer, or just sanding the edges off, whatever you want to call it, on the edges, because this is becoming a big deal. A big job anyway. Feels like I'm getting nowhere fast. If you want to save your shoulders, you might want to take this to the machine shop. If I don't do that, that will literally cut my hand. It's getting so sharp. I'll be back. Okay, that took about 3 hours. It gets worse and worse as you go, because the circle that's in the middle that's not even. You think you're sanding that, but no, you're sanding the outside to get down to that. So it gets worse and worse and worse. So I am exhausted already. I did some damage on some sandpaper. Yeah, that's like the 10 pieces of sandpaper I used, and I ran out of tape, and I had to start using this stuff, and man, I'm a glutton for punishment. Whew. Who needs a gym membership? Build a Volkswagen engine. Well, and buy Volkswagen tools. You're going to put more manual labor into that than anything. Yeah, I'm laughing because I'm just exhausted. I'm toast. I'm going to clean this up with some brake cleaner. Get all these holes all cleaned out. Make sure this thing is nice and clean. And we'll get it up on the engine here. You know what? I need to vacuum first. I've been vacuuming in between just to get all the sandpaper particles and the metal filings and everything out of here. But yeah, I got to clean this up, and then we'll start mocking some stuff up. I'm going to measure that first. We're going to measure this, see what the difference is from the old numbers. So here's the math on the deck plate tool. The old measurement for the thickness of it was 0.456 inches. The new measurement, after sanding it for 3 hours on both sides to make it completely even, is 0.444 inches now. Now on that plate, the outside of it was a lot thicker than the inside, because on both sides, the middle was low. Anyway, the difference is 0.012 inches. Now this is just the plate. This doesn't give exact numbers of what my deck height difference is going to be. So just to give you an idea, 0.012 inches is basically the thickness of a 10,000 shim. Now, this changes everything for me. And also, since I've done this, I've noticed that there is a difference in between the 1-2 side and the 3-4 side. So this is not good news. I need to start all over. I'm already asking for advice on what to do. I don't think it's a gigantic deal, but I need more shims, or I need to stack shims on the 3-4 side, because that compression ratio is 8.4 and the 1-2 side is 8.3. I work all weekend and I'm moving backwards. Sanding that block down has created a whole new set of challenges. This tool that I created has definitely come in handy, and it's working great, but now I might have to use it again to sand these down even further. My deck height is coming out to 038 or 039. And the other side, the 1-2 side, is like 044 or 045. So I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of questions to ask. Am I able to stack shims on one side and put one shim on the other side? Should I be doing that? Does it matter? Do I need to sand down the top of the piston to make it even? Take all the rings out, sand it down. I don't know what to do. All the reading I do on the Samba, not only is it completely frustrating because people just argue, and every time someone says something, oh, I run my deck height at 040, that's the safest way to go. There's always someone that jumps on and said, I've been racing for years and I run it at, 03 or 020 at 7,000 RPM. Well, I don't have a $30,000 engine. So I don't know if because I'm using a CB Performance crank and CB Performance rods, if it's going to make a difference. Because it's just AA pistons on the top of that whole chain. Emails have been sent. I need to learn more before I go further. And maybe we'll start working on something else until I can get this straightened out or order more parts. And the last time I ordered shims, to get both sets of shims, it took 2 weeks. So that's going to set me back on my plans on shooting videos too, so I might have to start something else. I don't know if it's the block that's off. Yeah, 0.005 inches is what it's off from the 1-2 side to the 3-4 side. Don't know if that's a huge deal. Did a bunch of reading. Some people say, yeah, it's fine, run it. But would I run it that way? No. So what's the answer? And then some people say don't ever run more than 0.007 difference on the 1-2 and 3-4 side. And then everybody says, sand down your pistons or stack shims. And another guy says, no, don't do that because you're changing the angle of the dangle of the way that the rod slides inside the... Oh, gee, I don't know. I need to do my homework before we can move forward. So I think we're at a standstill for right now until I talk to someone that has more experience with this. I did not get a whole lot done today. So here's what happened. I sanded the hell out of that tool, and that took a lot out of me. That was 3 hours of kicking my own butt with a sore shoulder that I already had, and I think I made it worse. Then I got that all done. I put it on the piston, and it changed everything. So I had to start all over with the math and CB Performance Calculator 17 times. I started reading, and I was on the Samba and looking at all the other sites. You got to skim through all the comments of people yelling at each other. You can't do that. Bah, bah, bah. I do this. I run it at 3.0 and race and rev it to $7,000 and it's fine. And people are like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Run it at a super low deck height, dummy. And then let me know how it goes when you blow up your engine. So since this is my first build, I'm trying to keep it really close, which is the minimum of 040. My brain hurts. Number one piston. Deck height is 043. Right now, I have it down to 040. And the other side is 038. So you guys let me know what you think. I'm going to ask around before this video is released if that's okay, because it's right on the verge of 8.3 and 8.4 compression ratio. But you got to understand, this is my first build. This is my first full Volkswagen engine build. First full engine build ever. And I don't want to start pushing tolerances. Piston 3039 on the 1.2 side. I have it on 040. That says 043, but it's 040 right now. So I'm super, super close. But the thing that I had to do was I used 2 of the shims that I sanded down on the 3.4 side. And then I used the shims that I bought, the 30s and the 10s, comes out to 4.1, around there. So I don't know what to do. Should I stack 2 shims on one side and leave my single shim on the other side? I don't know if I'm overthinking this, overdoing it, but it's really hard to get a straight answer online. I fixed this problem and it created a whole nother set of problems. And like I said, I don't know if I'm trying to strive for perfection when I don't need to. But when you're right on the verge of 8.3 and 8.4, I don't know if you're supposed to do that. I don't know if it's going to hurt this thing. I'm trying to get as close as I can. It's Thursday night, and this deck height thing's been eating me up all week. So I came out here after work, and it is now 10:30 p.m. and I finally got it figured out. And the magic number today is my deck height is 0.0435 on all 4 pistons. Wasn't easy. Flattening out that tool changed everything for me. And then this tool I created saved me. Because I think number 3 piston on the engine was the worst. It was off the most. A lot of hard work, a lot of measuring, a lot of taking this tool on and off, probably 30 to 40 times. No lie. Take it off, try a combo of shims, not getting what I want, and then trying it again. And then I finally got to the point where I figured out none of the combos that I had was just right. So I had to use the tool to sand down the 060s just a little bit more to get what I wanted. And that was, again, 0.0435. And I have a 8.3 compression ratio. And I am super psyched. That's done. So hopefully the next upcoming videos are going to be putting this thing together and finishing the long block, which I can't wait to do. I'm a little bummed because it's getting cold outside. It's almost time to pull the air conditioner out of the wall because it was 30 degrees last night. But we're getting there, and we have a lot more to do. We have, in this bag here, we have all the fan shroud and all that stuff in the tins. We're going to have to figure out what we do with this oil cooler, if we're going to use the big one, since it's going to end up being wintertime and I'm going to have to wrap up the Bug for the season. We might just put the cover on this thing and call it, because it's getting cold. Unless the weather improves, I might not be driving this again. I hope I get to take it out 1 or 2 more times. But gonna have to wrap up the Firebird too. I'm gonna have to turn that around and back it into the back of the garage. She's gonna end up backed in there. I hope I have enough room for my other tool bench to actually work, but walking around this thing is starting to get to be a pain. We can put this tool away, I'm hoping. I don't think we're gonna need that anymore. And we can put this tool away. I'm going to do that right now. A little bit of celebratory dance over to the toolbox. Go to your home. Hopefully we don't have to mess with that anymore. But it's oiled up. It's funny. I I came out here after a few days after sanding this thing all down. She had a little layer of surface rust on her because it's humid and it's been raining, and she's oiled. She's wrapped up. Good night. Hopefully the next few videos are going to be actually starting to wrap this engine up. And then I'm going to have to build some kind of a stand to fire this thing. I think I'm going to end up building a start stand. So that might be in an upcoming video. But I know Jawbreaker's already done it, so if you want to know how to do it now, that's the guy. But okay, everybody, today's magic number is 0.0435 deck height.